everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing the Ford Edge Titanium. Before we get in this video, I'm going to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Ed Kenley Ford here in Layton, Utah for giving me some time with this Edge. I'm going to include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. And if you don't know, Ed Kenley Ford does not charge any sort of markups over MSRP whatsoever, so if you want a great deal on a new Ford, reach out to them. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 22 around town and then 28 on the highway, with power outputs being 250 horsepower and then 275 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we go over the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, you guys can see the U-shape there. I think that's actually pretty cool with the overall design. And then even though the Edge is kind of a little bit more on the dated side of things, the lights actually still look really cool. And I like the grille on this titanium package. Got some fog light action off the side and then some parking sensors as well. And putting it all together, I think it looks pretty cool. Coming around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 245, 50, 20 in the front and over in the rear. And then you guys can see the wheels here with the silver. I think that looks really sharp. We also have silver trim here at the bottom. Then you guys can see around the windows as well. And then here's your full side view with the Edge Titanium. Everything kind of ties in together, right? Now here's a look at the key fob. We have our unlock function, our lock function, remote start, the opening here for the hatch, and the Ford logo on the back. Now taking a look at the cargo area here in the back, you guys can see there's quite a bit of storage space here in the rear. It's one of the big benefits of the Edge. And got some spare tire action underneath as well. And then you guys can see you've got these little buttons here to lower down the seats. Like this one's lowered down if you need even more storage. When you're all done, just press this button and that will lower the hatch right back down. Now here's a quick look at the taillights, really sharp with the design. And then you guys can see all the trim back here is all blacked out. And then look at all the badges, pretty cool. Parking sensors here at the bottom, and then look at those exhaust tips. And putting it all together, let me know what you guys think about the design here on the Edge. Now taking a look at the door panel, you guys can see soft touch here at the top, and then look at the stitching and padding, and the two-tone design is pretty cool. And then here's the rest of the seat. You guys can see perforated all down the center portion. Cool kind of like quilted design as well. Legroom back here is actually really good. We've got a little storage pocket, some vent action, heated seats, little charging port action down below. By the way, these seats are actually really comfortable, which I think is a big plus. And then headroom, it's good. Now taking a look at the front door panel, you guys can see soft touch here at the top and the rest of the padding. All of our window controls here, the mirror adjustments, you got memory seat function, and then you also have blind spot monitoring with the mirrors too. And then here are the seats. Again, you've got that kind of like diamond design perforated all down the center as well. Power adjustments here on the side. And we've got our light controls here. And then you guys can see for the hatch and then the traction control. And then the steering wheel is actually power adjustable. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, you guys can see soft touch all around. You got paddle shifters there on the back for the 8-speed automatic transmission. Got some practical controls here for those two screens in the center, and then voice command controls, adaptive cruise control with steering assist, and then your stocks there on the back. Now here is the center gauge cluster. You guys can see you've got the speedo front and center. You've got screens on either side. The left side's kind of like your vehicle screen, if that makes sense. So different bits of information on the vehicle, and the other one's like your media screen, basically. Now in reverse, we do have a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel, and overall resolution is pretty good. We also have the zoom function as well. And then this does have the tablet-like infotainment screen, so it is vertical with the layout. Now something that's cool is, if it'll click, we have heated and cooled seats, also heated steering wheel, dual zone climate as well. And then if you press this tab, this will pull up the rest of the stuff you can go through, like pop into the vehicle or vehicle information, for example. So yeah, overall, pretty easy to use. Not necessarily a fan of the vertical layout, but it's pretty good. Analog controls for said infotainment system, by the way, and then we got a little storage area here with a wireless phone charging pad, some USBs, and then we've got our shifter here for the transmission. Got your parking brake right there, auto holds, your parking assist, parking sensors, and some cup holders right here. And then look at the trim on top. And you guys can see storage there on the center, pretty good. Speaking of storage, pretty good with the glove box as well, and the nice padding here on the top. And then you guys can see we've got controls here for the panoramic sunroof. So here's our window sticker for this Edge Titanium 2024. It is a 301A equipment group. You got some options on top of that. Total MSRP is $51,670. And let's see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood, both the mirrors, do blind spot monitoring, and throughout the rest of the rear. And we'll actually gonna be reversing out. So I guess we get to use that backup camera. And funny enough, I thought the Edge was actually gonna be gone. I didn't think there was gonna be a 24 model year, but now there is a 24 model year. So I wonder if they're gonna like redesign this or just get rid of it after this model year. I guess time will tell, but I mean, they added this new screen, so maybe they have to get their Ford has to get their resources back after investing the money into the screen here. Initially getting up and moving here with the Edge, the first thing that I'd like to say is seats are actually really comfortable. Kind of mentioned that in the walk around, but they really are. They've got nice padding to them. They kind of again, that diamond stitch pattern is pretty cool, but it has a soft feel to it overall, and it's pretty well insulated. I will say the AC seat definitely helping out right now. And as we are continuing along, pretty good torque out of this 2-liter powertrain, but we'll see kind of how it feels once we get a real acceleration up here in a little bit. I do like the dial, so people complain about the dial shifter, but I like the finish on it. Kind of has a somewhat of a premium feel to it, which is good because it's one of the major touch points in this interior. And I will say the steering wheel, it's nice, but I feel like they could have done a little bit of a better job with the material use. Same thing with some of the, like the glove box and stuff like that, to make it, again, this is titanium, supposed to be luxury, just to make it feel a little bit more upscale. It handles pretty well. Ooh! Pretty quick. That turbocharged engine performs well. Yeah, it does a pretty good job of getting up and going. I wouldn't call it like insanely quick or fast, but it moves. Definitely moves. That is for sure. Kind of see how the ride quality is continuing along here. I will say though, smooth overall. Pretty minimal with the wind noise. I mean, it's solid. Crossover drives well, that is for sure. So I guess that'll get us into kind of summing things up here with the Edge titanium. So on the outside, I actually like this titanium package, surprisingly. I didn't think I was gonna like it as much as, you know, an ST or an ST line, but I think it actually looks pretty good. And then, you know, interior, it's kind of mixed. I think the seats are really nice, and it's nice we have soft touch here, and then I believe, yeah, this is also soft touch. But, you know, I think they get in a little bit more with the material use just to make it feel a little bit more upscale than it does. And, you know, when it comes to driving, I think it drives really well. It's comfortable, it's got good power, and also, like, feature-wise, heated and cooled seats. So it's got all the stuff that you'd want from a crossover in the segment. Also, that's hard touch, for example. That should be soft touch there. So that's kind of an example of what a point that I was trying to make earlier. So, yeah, also it does have some elements that feel dated, like the gauge cluster, for example. The infotainment system, though, feels a little bit more modern. But let me know your thoughts on the Edge, and let me know if you think if Ford should either just redesign this or if they should get rid of it. My personal opinion, just my opinion, get rid of the Edge and bring over the Ford Everest. I'm going to keep bringing this up every single video again. Give us the Ford Everest. We want the Everest here in the US. I think that because being a body on frame SUV 3-row, that would sell a lot better than this Edge. This segment of crossover, it's not dead, but it's not like it's unpopular, but I think that something like the Everest would do a lot better than this Edge. Let me know your thoughts.